So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting us. I will talk today about evolution, probably, as a process and an attempt to apply logic of evolution to social and economical processes. Please treat the following paper not from a strict point of view of rigid economical science, but rather as a broad philosophical search for some different truth, what is further. But before starting the very sense of it, I would like to say a few words about main author, because it's interesting that the work on human and resource economic system is developing in a consequence of dialogues between very different points of view. From one side, we have two economists, one representing LSE, a stronghold of mainstream economics, and the other being a converted banker who converted from a dark side to light side, but still having all these models and all these financial things in mind. Yeah, this my colleague Maksym. And from the other side, we have this man, who is not an economist, but a practical, an example of practical approach to the matter, because he is a very successful entrepreneur. He developed a business in different industries, including metallurgy, high technologies, real estate, and so on. But a few years ago, abandoned almost all the stuff he had and devoted all his time to philosophical research for a new kind of model, or I don't know, or where our current system can evolve. Hares Youssef is also a poet, and he's a philanthropist. That's where most of his money gone from business. And our dialogues are like dialogues between humble shadows of Plato and Aristotle, because he has a kind of Platonic point of view, the existence of some ideal forms, ideal notions, and we look under our feet because we are like Aristotelian school more. And these clashes create a knife edge of ideas that probably have something interesting, at least for you, can devote some minutes of your time for them. All right. So, what is evolution? Evolution is a process of adoption to certain circumstances, of overcoming barriers with continuous incremental change and progress of different features, being it a system, a creature, or something else. But if we look at our today's state of things, we see that probably what's happening with economy is not an evolution, it's something different. Because there are four major adverse global economic tendencies, which are quite obvious and admitted by different heterodox, orthodox kinds of economists. And they are so severe that solution of them can be imagined as a principal task of modern economics. So, these are deepening of economic inequality, environmental degradation, depletion of natural resources, and systemic crisis, what our colleague have been just talking about. The first one, deepening of economic inequality, is associated with the idea of justice, actually with abolition of that idea. And the other three, are associated with that highly overused term of sustainable development, all right? Or sustainability in general. Both are in no way addressed by modern mainstream economical thinking. So it's simply out of brackets. And this fact, me and my colleagues consider one of reasons why these problems are becoming more and more acute. So we try to analyze it ourselves. But there is one obstacle for a possible future hypothetical solution of these problems. And since we are within market system economy framework, these should be associated with markets. And these are failures of markets, of main of main feature, main function of markets, which is informational function. So I will explain in a minute. So in these problems result in distortion of value, and in the short run they cause economic instability. But in the long run, their effects lead to overproduction and are associated with systemic profound crisis, last of which the world is still experiencing. Informational functions of markets result in this main information function is in expressing all the multitude of information from supply and demand in one small thing, price. So we have that continuous play between cost and value and price in between. And this is precisely where we have a disease, where we have a kind of distortion. These three critical indicators, price, cost, and value, today's economical model is, due to some reason, unable to set adequately. Why is it so? Worldview of a modern Western world representative is shaped, and this is recorded already on subliminal or cultural level, with many centuries of struggle with hostile factors of environment, with scarcity. And this is in combination, this all is put in combination with individualism, which is typical for worldview of European representative of European civilization. Okay, so in the foundation of this worldview lies a profound subliminal fear of future. In modern economy, this fear has found its expression in the four principles of economic behavior: reserving, insurance, privacy, and security. Me and my colleagues agree that these principles are useful in an extent adequate to real risk level. However, as soon as they become fundamental guidelines for the economic agents, this is fraught with serious obstacles to markets functioning, in particular insufficient information, inefficient extra costs, ideal financial capital, etc. These impediments are the profound reason initially and vicious factor for the above-mentioned market phase. Okay, we have like two problems that do not allow us to tackle with the distortions. First is money neutrality hypothesis, and it's thanks to this hypothesis that financial system has grown to a huge stratification of a real sector. It's what we call financialization of this section. And the other thing is ignoring the existence of social classes. The whole understanding today of economic behavior has in its basis the notion that actually all the agents are equal. Of course there are monopolies, monopolistic competition, and so on and so on. But in general, well, we have all equal possibilities, and this is not true. This is not true. And the effects of different social classes, for example, from economic shocks, are very different. One can benefit from them, and the other suffer at the same time. And I will give you one example. So, as you see, this is about fluctuations, yeah, that you already illustrated. We have these are 7 like major currencies, index, JP Morgan. Those who are familiar with financial markets probably saw these kind of diagrams many times. So we have, these are prices, and we can, these are percentage, they are volatility. And you see that the average level is about 10% volatility, which is pretty much. Imagine the economy, which is oscillating 10% here and there. But in the time of financial crisis, so you see it's October 2008, it was almost 25% volatility. What's the problem with volatility? Of course, it increases uncertainty and so on. But what is very little spoken about is that volatility has a redistribution effect. And this redistribution effect is actually redistribution